Hey guys, it's Johnny and welcome to episode 48 of the Travel Like a Boss podcast. Today I'm with Grant Worley from OnlineCourseAuthority.com. Welcome, buddy.
Hey man, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no worries. So the reason I want to have Grant on is he's an expert in Udemy marketing, and me and my girlfriend Larissa have launched our first Udemy course. So we're going to do a live critique and kind of go over how to start making some money from our Udemy course. And I think the people listening at home can follow along because this is kind of a cool thing. But before we get into that, so you're out in the Philippines right now?
That's correct. I'm in Puerto Galera right now.
Nice. And where are you from originally?
Lexington, Kentucky. I'm American.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
What made you come out to Southeast Asia or the Philippines?
So I'd been wanting to do the traveling entrepreneur thing for a while, and I've been kind of working towards it. And I'm actually here through the Bad Lads gig through Tropical MBA right now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So that's why I'm in Puerto Galera.
Okay, cool. So for the people who don't know what the Bad Lads gig is basically the guys over at Tropical MBA, another great podcast, Dan and Ian. They have are they the owners, or are they just friends with the guy that owns it?
They're friends with Sean, who's the owner of the resort here.
Okay. And they have this like an internship where you basically get to live at a resort, and you work probably a few hours a day marketing the resort to get people to come to the hotel, and you for the rest of the time you got to work on your own business, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's basically just a good situation where if you're trying to get abroad through your business, it's a good little starting point, because it's kind of hard to just launch and just randomly go abroad and not having a place to really base yourself out of. So it's just a place for people to do that.
And how did you get hooked up with that?
Literally, I just saw the blog post and applied, and the rest is history.
Do you know if they're taking new people?
Actually, yeah. They just closed the application process just like 2 days ago, I think. So
Okay.
Unfortunately, not right now, but there will be another cycle. It's about every 6 months or so.
Okay. And what I'll do is I'll make sure I mention it on my my Facebook and Twitter next time there is one, and that way people can apply for it. Because that's definitely a great opportunity if you're living out in Kentucky or somewhere like that,
sure.
and you want to live out and meet other entrepreneurs. How many people are out there right now? Because I know sometimes it's like the entrepreneur's paradise. There's tons of people through, and then sometimes it's kind of dead and it's a little bit boring.
Yeah, I mean, in my experience, it's been pretty quiet most of the time. There's been, I think, one DCer come through here, and then also Dan came through here and stayed here for a week. So that was pretty cool, hanging out with him for a week. But it's been pretty quiet. So it's not about meeting other entrepreneurs. It's more about having that time and stability to really, launch or grow what you're working on.
That makes sense. And how many hours a week, or day do you have to work for the resort, and how many hours do you get for yourself?
Yeah, it's supposed to be 2 hours a day per day for the resort. So, and then the rest of the time's up to you.
Whatever. Bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Yeah, that's cool. And the internet isn't the most stable out there, I've heard.
Yeah, and we might experience that right now, but hopefully, things stay strong for this podcast. But yeah, it's a little slow sometimes. It kind of goes up and down, but it doesn't really matter. You have the extra time to deal with things like that and peace of mind, so that's worth it in my book.
Yeah, because you're on an island, you can say, you know what, internet's down, let me go scuba diving.
Exactly, yeah. Right?
Have you been diving? Have you been diving out there?
Yeah, I actually got my open water certification while here, and went diving for the first time, so thank you.
Yeah, how's the water out there?
It's really beautiful. Lots of, crazy underwater stuff that, especially if you're new to diving, it's a whole new world, all kinds of things that you didn't know existed under the water. Really great experience. I recommend it to anybody who's never tried to dive before. I
haven't been diving in the Philippines yet, but it's definitely a place I will go. I think I've been diving all around Thailand and in Borneo, which from what I've heard is a little bit better. But what's good about the Philippines is it's clear, warm water, and there's a dive site. I don't know how far it is from you. I think it's actually one of the islands not too far from you, but I can't pronounce it. It's called like Malapascua, and it's where the thresher sharks live.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's one of the only places in the world where you can dive with, 10, 20 thresher sharks. Not guaranteed, but I would say most people who go out there for the trip, they eventually see it if they stay out there, for a few days or a week.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, wow. How'd you get involved with Udemy? Did you have something going on before you moved out to the Philippines, or is this something new?
Yeah, so actually, I'll kind of just start from the beginning because I think it's a really good lesson for anybody who is interested in Udemy. So I had an external course. So I had a business idea, right? I wanted to serve a need in a given market, and it was solving a really great problem. And they really liked the solution, the market, when I would, show it to them and be like, would you like this? Would you want to buy it? Et cetera, et cetera. But I made a huge mistake. So it was solving a problem, was better than other solutions, but I did not do my due diligence in terms of measuring whether people would actually, at the end of the day, buy it, right?
Okay.
So I did not test to see whether this is the type of market to buy this type of thing, because I just made some assumptions, made some mistakes there. So it was not doing well at all. And this is when it was externally hosted. So I brought it onto Udemy. Just because I heard about it, seemed like a really good platform to clean things up and to not have to worry about as many technical sides of things when you're trying to run an online course. And so I brought it on Udemy, and first couple months did not do well at all, actually. I think the first month I made $75 on Udemy.
Okay.
And from there, I started testing, and the biggest thing I did was I sort of redefined how I positioned the course. So it was aimed at a particular type of market. I realized that the content itself was extremely beneficial for a different market, which is entrepreneurs and people who are interested in productivity. So I repositioned it towards them, and it instantly started doing better. And that was like my first major lesson about Udemy.
So for those who don't know, what is Udemy?
So yeah, it's basically a online learning platform. So it allows for people to either put their online courses online. So it can be as easy as just filming videos and uploading them. And for anybody who wants to take courses online, it allows you to take courses on a huge variety of topics. I don't know how many courses there are, but it's like thousands and thousands and thousands. And many of them are really, really, really high quality. And you can actually get them for, if you're going to take some course you would take in a university, you can get the same course sometimes for like $10 that you'd end up paying $1,000 for at a university.
Yeah, and I mean, there are some courses that are a lot more expensive as well, but I think the whole idea of it was a online university where you pick and choose what classes you want to take. And I would say, at least in the beginning, it's starting to shift a little bit now, but the majority of the classes that I saw people taking were, like learn how to program online, or kind of these more technical web skills. But I think now it's shifting towards almost anything, just like kind of university. If it started as a let's say MIT, just a technical university, over time they start offering humanities classes or other cooking classes even.
Yeah, absolutely. And it definitely did start it focuses still on the how to do X type of course. And initially that was really honed in on technical skills, like you said, web skills or programming, but also it's definitely has a huge side in terms of business, like how to use Twitter for business, how to do better marketing, X, Y, Z. And those are like probably the two biggest categories.
And I think one really cool thing about it is if you are working for a company like a corporation and you have a training budget, and let's say you're a programmer and you need to learn whatever the latest language is, you can justify that and say, tell your boss, hey, I'm signing up for this online course on how to do it. And that's kind of that was kind of a big in for a lot of people. And I think I'm excited for it. I mean, it's so kind of just to kind of let everyone know where I'm at with it is, so my girlfriend, Larissa, she just quit her job last week. Big congratulations to her. And now we're working on, on our own online business full time. So right now she's actually sitting across from me and she's working on one of my dropshipping stores. And our deal is basically, because my dropshipping stores already make me money and it's still, by far the majority of my income, I figured, first 4 hours a day, so from 8 a.m. to noon, we're going to work on that, because that way we have a guaranteed income, and she's helping me contact existing customers, help me get new customers, and then in the afternoons we work on new projects together, and that way she has something of her own. So in the morning it's kind of a dual purpose. She helps both of us make money for through the dropshipping store, which is already proven for me, and she also gets to learn the back end of it, so then she can eventually start her own dropshipping store. And then in the afternoon we work on projects like the Udemy course that they're reading together. And if you guys want to check it out, there's going to be a link to it in the show notes of this episode. It's episode 48 of the Travel Like a Boss podcast, and there'll be a link to it as well as a coupon code. So if you guys did want to take it, you can check it out. But the reason why we chose Udemy is while she was still working as a teacher, we didn't really have time to sit down and, let's say 1 hour a weekend or a couple hours a weekend to do a dropshipping store. It would be too much, but for Udemy course, it was actually pretty easy because we could spend a few hours every Saturday over the next, over the course of 2 or 3 months, and film one video every single time, and that's how we put it together. So now that she's officially an entrepreneur, she really has a product out there. Now, unfortunately, it's not making very much money. I think we made about $70 each, and it's been it's been live for I don't know, over a month or two now. So it's really not that much money, and that's why I wanted to have Grant on today, because he's the expert at this.
Yeah, no worries, and I'm happy to tear apart your course. But first, I wanted to ask, I'm just curious, was it her idea or your idea to do that topic?
It was actually mine. I think I had heard about Udemy, and I was just browsing through, and I remember seeing a similar course that was so poorly made on it, and I just couldn't believe it. And at first I didn't know how the Udemy pricing works, so I just calculated. I multiplied the number of students versus the price that they were charging for the course, and I was like, "Wow, this guy made $2 million on this crappy course."
Yeah.
And little did I know, and we'll talk a little bit about how the way Udemy prices itself. But it's basically, you get, so if a course has, let's say, 1,000 students and they sell it for $200, if you do the math, that's like, $2 million, something ridiculous. But you don't get anywhere close to that. So let's see, I'm gonna do the math on that. So so that would say, that's $200,000 if everyone actually paid full price and you got 100% of it. But in reality, those courses, so using ours as an example, we made $140 total, and it's been since August. So it's basically, we're making $75 a month from it, and which, it definitely isn't that much money. And the way that works is, if Udemy, actually, you know what? Let me have you explain this, because you're the expert at it.
Yeah, no worries. So basically, if a class has 1,000 students, there's a really high chance 75% of the students paid $0 to get in, because when you launch a Udemy course, if you don't do an initial free promotion period, it's really, really hard to get traction. Some courses do it, but the majority don't manage to be successful unless they do that. So that's a huge, that's 75% of what you would expect the revenue to be taken away. Beyond that, I think the statistic is like 95% of students that sign up for a course, just in general, rule of thumb, have used some kind of coupon code. So if the course is $200, there's a good chance your actual average student, for the only the $250 you actually paid, the average revenue you got per student was like maybe $20. So that's still not bad at all, and it still works out that, like, actually, to give an example, kind of also relating to what you were talking about, why you chose to put a course on Udemy. So you said it's pretty easy, right? You just record courses. It's fairly quick to do, potentially. Mm-hmm. And sort of on the contrast of, like, you have all these free students. It sounds like you're not making nearly as much money as you'd expect. But still, at the end of the day, it's quite a bit of money. So for my own personal experience, the second course I made, I sort of wanted to test to see how quickly could I make a course and make it successful. So within about 48 hours, I planned, filmed, edited, and launched a course. And since then, I've spent, maybe an hour a month on it since then, and it's made over $4,200. So it's still, if you look at the number of people enrolled in the course, that's still like a small fraction of what you'd expect. But at the end of the day, for 48 hours of work, $4,200, not a bad deal.
Yeah, definitely. And how many months has that been out?
I think it's something like 6 months, maybe 7.
So it's definitely not, I think there's two ways to look at it. I think if you look at it from the point of view where you made $4,000 for 48 hours of work, that's actually a great deal. And then for the people who want this to be their full-time income, that's basically how much per month that you made off of that. It's so the monthly from it isn't really enough to replace your income. So I think the Udemy for right now, if you have a great course that makes a ton of money, it could definitely replace your income. And I know there's people out there who make a killing off of it, but I would say, it's also, it's also a good side income, kind of almost like a passive income source.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost completely passive. And that's sort of how I see it is, it's not just, I'm going to make this one course that's going to be my income for the end of time, right? Because once it's launched, there's not a lot you have left to do once you've gone through that entire marketing process, which I'll talk about later. But the main thing is that also I should note that I have multiple courses. All successful instructors have multiple courses. So it's not just, you're making $800 per month on this one course. You're making, $3,000 between 5 courses or something like that.
Okay, and I think that's definitely a point that me and Lewis would love to get to. I'm just happy that I have another income source to fall back on, because especially in the beginning, I'm sure it takes people. As an expert, you were able to put together a course really quickly and get it launched really quickly, and with your services, I'm sure other people can do that as well. But I would say for most people, let's say they're bootstrapping, they're just starting out, and they're like, all right, well, I need to make $1,000 a month, right now to start living and start being able to pay my bills and move out to the Philippines or move out to Thailand. I would say and the only reason I'm even saying this is I don't want people to get overly excited about Udemy. It's because it almost sounds like one of those things that's too good to be true. Like, oh yeah, just spend, I'll just put up a couple of videos and instantly I'll be a passive, I'll make all this passive income. So I kind of just want to manage expectations out there. Anytime something seems, this is like the get rich quick thing, it's usually not. So it's more, for me right now, it's an experiment. And what we'll do is, with Grant's help, we're basically gonna do some live progress on my blog, johnnyfd.com, and we'll see if going from $75 a month to much more is realistic.
Absolutely. I can tell you, I've already looked at your course. That's absolutely true. And to give sort of a concrete timeline to what somebody getting started like totally from scratch might be able to expect. So a good rule of thumb is that maybe it would take about 3 months to launch a course and to get maybe $500 a month. Okay. And that's starting from scratch and like learning everything. And if they kind of focus on it, it doesn't take all of their time for 3 months, but it takes about that much time to sort of trial and error and figure things out the slow way. But that's also what my service is designed to do, is to sort of shortcut that process, use what I know, and just put that process in place so they can sort of get it up in 1 month or a month and a half instead of that 3 month learning curve.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So, you want to use my course as an example? We can do this as kind of a live thing for everyone to follow along with. So if you guys want to actually see the course, use the link at episode 48 of the Travel Like a Boss podcast, and you can sign up and go to the back end if you want. But so just kind of from let's say so we're a client of yours. What would you have us do?
Cool. Well, I mean, the first thing is that since you already have your course up, so there's sort of two sides to the service, right? It's somebody who wants to make a course and somebody who already has a course, like your situation. They have a course, it's not really doing anything, and they want to make more money with it. So there's two sides of it. Some people go all the way through. Some people start from scratch. So for you, I actually wouldn't have you do pretty much anything at all, aside from maybe linking to it or sending out some promotional emails to your current audience. Mm-hmm. But I would actually do pretty much all of this for you. But here's what I would do for you. Okay. And actually, I was thinking, in case you actually end up following this advice, it might warrant some screenshots to show what you started with and what you end up with. Because if people listen to this a month from now and see your new course, they may not understand what we're talking about. But
I'm going to make a screenshot as we talk. Go ahead.
Great. And so just for starters, if you type in Udemy right now, Smalltalk, your course is the 5th course that shows up. It's in the first row. That's really good.
Okay.
However, it's worth noting that the term Smalltalk, there's actually some graphics which sort of break down search frequency on Udemy. So there's probably not a whole lot of people who are searching that term, mm-hmm. but it is good that you're ranking for some things.
Okay.
And just a quick overview of how rankings work. So it's primarily determined by your title and your subtitle. So your title is Smalltalk, How to Talk to Anyone. And actually, I can't see your subtitle at the moment because I'm in the back end, which doesn't show that. But so within the title, it's related to the density of the keyword to the overall title. Okay. So what percentage of the title is the keyword, right? Mm-hmm. So you can do the math of like Smalltalk, those two words divided by the total length of the title, and that is a huge the majority of what determines the ranking for the course.
Okay.
Beyond that, sorry, go ahead.
So I just opened my course in Safari, just a browser that I never use. And so that way it takes me to the sales page, and it's basically Smalltalk, How to Talk to Anyone. And the subtitle is The Complete Guide to Talking to Anyone from a Stranger to the CEO. And kind of just while we're on this, kind of just let people know why the heck we made this course. So Larissa studied psychology, and this is kind of what she's great at, and me as well. I mean, I've given some talks on social confidence, and I used to work for a company that specializes in that. So it was kind of just a no-brainer for us. It was kind of just a very easy thing for us to talk about, where we still obviously did some research to get some statistics behind things. But as far as being comfortable, just talking about these subjects, it was really easy for us. And it was one of those things where we knew people would get a lot out of this course. So before you guys kind of decide on what your niche is, I would suggest finding something that you guys are really good at. But we can talk about that a little bit more later.
Yeah, I mean, my suggestion to people who want to start a Udemy course specifically, think about what you're good at. Start searching around on Udemy for key terms related to that. So, for example, if you're good at business stuff in general, obviously you don't want to call your course how to be better at business. You want to position it in a very particular way, which is dependent on the other courses in the market. So you want to search around for different keywords, see what people are doing that are being successful, find sort of a gap in your positioning. That's also what I did with my second course as well. It's sort of like a business type productivity course, but I used the word hustle. Like, it's called How to Hustle. And the reason I did that is because nobody else uses that in their title. So if anybody types in hustle, it's like positioned in a very particular way. And it also sticks out if it's on a list of business courses.
Yeah.
It just sort of has a unique value proposition. And that's what I always recommend to clients, is to have a very specific outcome, which is different than the other courses. So you can have Twitter for business, and there's actually like 5 courses which have that exact title. But there's one in particular that says attracts 200 followers per day or something. And that sets that course apart, right? So if you have a unique positioning or a unique value proposition, which sets you apart, that people will click on your course over the other ones, even if they're basically on the same topic.
I like that a lot. All right, so let's definitely on our sales page, I guess, for the Udemy, it's not really optimized. I actually haven't reread it since we put it up. So just based on that, what would you suggest?
Yeah, so first I'd rework the title a bit.
Okay.
Because when I first looked at this, I sat and I thought, so does anybody wake up in the morning and say, man, I wish I could learn to small talk better, right? Like that's not really the words that I would personally mentally use to think about the skills you're really teaching. So, I mean, you can absolutely keep that in there, but I was thinking about some other terms which might potentially have higher search frequency, which might better also encapsulate the benefits of what you're providing. So, I mean, you have a benefit of like talking to anyone from a stranger to a CEO, which kind of brings up the term networking, right? So you could also have like small talk, how to master networking. And maybe, I mean, it would take a little bit of looking to see what the other networking courses are, what your competition would be. But it warrants a second look to sort of break down your title, rework it a bit, because that's actually one of the primary determiners of like whether your course is successful or not, is what the title is.
And when you mean the title, the title itself, let's say we wanted to do small talk, how to master networking, and then the subtitle, we would also want to use those same words in the subtitle, or like similar words?
No, so if you're targeting say you're targeting networking, you'd want to use the word networking for sure in your subtitle, but you don't want to state the exact same thing, obviously. You would ideally have your title, it's clear what the topic is, you pay attention to the keywords, but then in the subtitle, you have some very explicit benefits of the course. So you do a good job of that, how to talk to anyone from a stranger to a CEO. You could probably word that a little bit in a more compelling way. Okay. But the point is to use the keywords, have something really clear and really appealing. Okay. And in combination with the title, so I mean, if anybody searches on Udemy, right, they search small talk. You're the 5th course, they see your course image, your title, your price, your number of students, and your number of reviews. And you have a lot of reviews, which is awesome. So another thing you would want to do, or I would do for you if you were my client, is to rework your course image. Okay. So, and the reason for that is it doesn't really stick out. Like if somebody searches small talk, your course is not the one necessarily that their eyes would fall on. Like maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't, but it doesn't really just bam, hit them in the face. So that's what I also try and do for my courses. And if you want a comparison, if you type in hustle, just by comparison, my course is the first one that shows up, and there's like very bright. It's got a really strong border. I particularly designed it in a way to make it just like really hit you in the face. Like that's definitely the one you're going to see if you see it on a list.
I see that. I do see that.
So I would absolutely do that with yours as well. Definitely include a border. Probably increase the size of the text, because you can read "talk to anyone," but you can't read small talk very well. The picture of you guys, that's great. There's also a lot of white on this page, so maybe I would have like a different color that sort of stands out in the other colors. So, but basically, in a nutshell, the title and the image itself is really, really important for jumping out at people off the screen when they see it on a list.
Okay, I like it.
For the next step, once, say somebody sees that, you have an awesome course image, that you have an awesome title, they get to your landing page, right? Mm-hmm. And so they see your landing page. Right now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 very short paragraphs, no formatting, nothing that really sticks out. Like, people probably wouldn't actually even read it. Maybe they'd scan it really quick. So that's something that would absolutely use a whole bunch of work. And there's a variety of strategies you can use to sort of optimize course copy for a course. Mm-hmm. But for starters, you definitely want to include some formatting. Some bolded statements, some bolded value propositions, have like a bullet list of specifically what people will learn. And I always tell people as well, the instructors, if you've ever used the skills in your course that you're teaching to do something really cool, absolutely write that out. Like, say, you will learn, like, the skills you'll learn in this course, I have personally used to become a guest lecturer at Harvard University, to meet a Fortune 500 CEO and have coffee with them, to blah, blah, blah.
Okay, nice.
To break that down. So that's a huge one that, like, your course would absolutely benefit from doing, and have those bolded.
Okay.
There's some other tricks as well. You can have, like, course recently updated on September 1st, blah, blah, blah. But the main thing is sort of really take a look at that and understand that is your sales page for your course, is the course description. And really just put a lot of time and thought into that. Make sure it's really clear what the value proposition of your course is. And people just really, they read that and they're just like, holy crap, I have to have this. Because it's a really important thing that a lot of instructors actually, they don't spend as much time on it as they should. And that really hurts their courses.
Yeah, definitely. And that's definitely going to be on the to-do list. I do like the idea of the bullet list, the formatting, and really making it into a sales page. I think right now what was on it was just, I wrote a short description, launched it, and our goal, to be honest, was not to announce it to anyone yet, and just to send it to our friends and family and people on my Facebook page and say, hey, can you take a look at the course and give us some feedback and leave a review. So we were actually blown away and surprised when people started buying the course and finding it, even though we haven't even officially launched it yet. How do you think people even found the course?
So, what category is your course listed in? Like, I can't see that. Some in the back end. Do you happen to? Oh wait, no, there is. Personal development, self-esteem. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's primarily 3 ways people can find your Udemy course outside of you directly promoting it, which is they search for some term which your course shows up for, which in this case probably would have been Smalltalk. Mm-hmm. 2, they're searching the category, so personal development or self-esteem, and your course comes up. Or 3, Udemy is promoting your course in some way where it's, get any course on this list of 300 for $10 or something, and your course is listed on that, which, given your level of current traction, is probably not the case. Mm-hmm. So chances are they've just sort of organically found it through search or through going through the categories. And there's also a chance, actually, a fourth potential case example is if there's like a new and trending category, which sometimes shows up on the homepage, mm-hmm. Which I've actually never had a course show up on there, and it's probably pretty rare when that happens if you're shooting for that, but that is also a potential thing which could have happened.
Okay. Yeah, and that's really cool. I mean, I would say from our actual sales itself, I'm taking a look at our where people come from, and it actually seems like it's kind of diverse. So 0 has come from self-promotion, just because we haven't linked it to anyone yet. Yeah. But we've actually gotten quite a few from Udemy Organic. Does that mean someone's on udemy.com and then searches for Smalltalk and finds it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The breakdown of the revenue is if you link out with a coupon code and somebody buys your course through a coupon code, it'll say your promotion. You'll get 97% of the revenue. Mm-hmm. And there's also a small case that if like that person recently signed up through an affiliate, it'll still say affiliate. But basically, if you use a coupon code, it'll count as your promotion. You'll get 97%. The other case is somebody's searching, somebody ends up on your course page, and they have not used the coupon code. That'll automatically count as organic. And then the third situation is if that student has recently come through an affiliate, mm-hmm. or if somebody's mm-hmm. promoting your course as an affiliate, that'll count as an affiliate, and you'll get 25%.
Okay. And so I see that, so from our sales, we have 0 from my promotions, $33 from Udemy Organic, $13 from affiliate programs. So there's actually affiliates promoting our course specifically, or just promoting Udemy in general?
There's two ways to do it. You can promote specific courses. The chances are it's probably just a general type of promotion because if an affiliate gets a new student to sign up and say they buy their first course, which is not your course, but then 2 days later, I believe there's a 7-day window. So 2 days later, they stumble across your course and they buy yours. It'll still count as an affiliate sale.
Okay, so let's say someone wanted to become an affiliate and promote our course. How would they do that?
I believe it's udemy.com/affiliates.
Okay, perfect. And we'll put a link to that in the show notes too. So if you guys want to promote our course, we can both make some money from that. And then the last is ad program. We made $28.50 from the ad program. That's Udemy taking out ads where?
Sorry, what?
Where's Udemy taking out ads for that?
They actually, I have no idea. They do it all over the internet. They have a variety of marketing channels they go through. It's kind of not very transparent. So that just means they posted ads about your course, and it could have been anywhere.
So that would be specifically about our course and not Udemy itself.
They do it two ways. Again, they also have you might see a Facebook ad of get 75% off your first course, and maybe your course was the first course that they signed up through.
Okay.
Or it could have been about your course specifically. Again, they have lots of different marketing things that they're always trying new things, and it's kind of hard to tell from the back end exactly what happened to get that student. So again, that's something that you don't really have a whole lot of control over. So at the end of the day, you want to worry about just optimizing your course, making sure everybody who comes to your page buys it, promoting it as much as you can on your side of things, and then Udemy will automatically pick it up and start promoting it and start getting you more organic sales.
I like that. So, not knowing anything about Udemy when I got started, I basically, said to Larissa, I said, look, this is kind of basic internet marketing 101. Let's start with having good reviews, having good content, and then we'll figure out how to market it. So I think at this point, all the advice you've given us so far has been really, really good. But also
I got more coming if you want.
Huh?
I got more coming if you want.
Okay. Yeah. Keep going. I like it.
Yeah. So when I was breaking down, when people see the thumbnails, title, image, number of students, price, and number of reviews. Again, you have an awesome number of reviews. It's actually kind of rare for a course to have that many, especially given the number of students you have. But that also leads into you only have 54 students. That's an issue. You should have more than that. Okay. And the way you get more students initially, especially because it's hard to get students unless you have students, right? The first people in the door are the hardest to get in the door. So the way you want to do that is to run free promotions to spread your course far and wide until, general rule of thumb, try and get 1,000 students really quick. And that'll increase your rankings. That'll show you there's 1,000 people in this course. You have 17 reviews. That makes your course look extremely authoritative. And then it's subsequently much, much easier to get paid students in the course.
So I have a question about that. So that was actually one of those things where we were trying to decide if we wanted to ever give it away for free. And I'm sure there's pros and cons of both. And I definitely agree that having 1,000 students shows that your authority. But does that actually benefit, let's say, okay, so by having 1,000 students and let's say we still have the same amount of reviews, 17 reviews, does that make Udemy want to promote our course more, or does that even affect it at all?
So it's kind of like an indirect relationship as I understand it. So it positively influences the ranking of your course. It also positively influences the conversion rate of your course. And the conversion rate of your course absolutely relates to how much Udemy promotes you. So having the additional students again, it increases conversion rate, which increases the chances that Udemy promotes you or the frequency with which they do that. So that's really the biggest thing is that you want to do everything you can to optimize your course for ranking. So basically, it breaks down to two things, traffic and conversion. So that does both. If you have free students, it increases your ranking, which gets you more traffic. Also has the social proof to increase conversion. So it kind of has a dual effect. But I do understand a lot of people have concerns about that as well, about giving their course away for free. They're like, man, I worked on it. It's really valuable. Those people don't really value what I have to offer, et cetera, et cetera. And I understand those objections, but at the end of the day, it's so hard to be successful on Udemy unless you go through that initial free promotion period. So at the end of the day, I look at it from my own perspective of I want my course to be more visible and more successful. So if it takes giving it away for free for a while, well then, hey, guess what? You have 1,000 extra students to market your next course to for paid.
Okay. And so, as people kind of just looking around on courses on Udemy. We've signed up for a ton of free courses, just to kind of see what they are, and also some of them seemed interesting. Now, when we signed up, for the free ones, I would say 90% of the time we never even opened it. We just signed up for it, and we just don't even open it up, don't even take a look at it. And I almost feel like if someone doesn't pay for a course, that's kind of how they treat it. They don't really see the value in it. And do you think that there's some kind of back end thing for Udemy on like looking at ratios? Because I'm sure all this is kind of confidential within Udemy, so it's not really publicly known. But would you, for your best guess, would you assume that course completion, number of reviews versus students would play any effect in the weight of how they look at it, or does Udemy just want you to have as many students as possible, and they don't care about how many complete the course or how many leave a review?
So I do know for a fact that they measure completion, at least on an individual basis, because if you try and get people to leave reviews, like say you give out free coupons to your friends and they don't take the course, there's a really, really, really high percentage chance that those removes will subsequently get removed because they haven't actually taken the course, and they actually measure that. And they also show you statistics about like total number of minutes watched of your course, and different kinds of engagement analytics on the back end. So they absolutely do measure it, and I'm sure it, at the end of the day, affects how they perceive your course. But again, you kind of got to weigh out the pros and cons, right? Like, it's a short win to have the free students in, and that gives you the long win of getting the additional students and getting the additional engagement down the road. And it's not a strategy to continually get free students. Like, you can do that. Some courses do. For me, I always have it possibly a week promotional period of giving it away for free just to get it in the door and get it going. And then after that, all paid. However, I should also note that I've looked at my own analytics, and I've also noticed that even people who do pay for the course, surprising, the vast majority of them do not actually watch it, or less than 10%. It's really, really surprising. And I'm not really sure why that's the case, but I've kind of heard that from other instructors as well. I think it's just because there's so many courses, so many interesting things to learn, and realistically, nobody has hours and hours and hours every single day to watch all the courses. So they probably go back and watch it, weeks or months later.
Okay, it definitely makes sense. As far as like the length of the course, I was taking a look at yours, and it seems like there's a lot more to it. I like all the quizzes and all that stuff that you have in there. So those are definitely things that we want to add in. Right now, our course is actually pretty short, but it's the reason why we did that is we didn't want to just ramble on and kind of touch topics over and over. We wanted to keep them, a bunch of short 3 to 5 minute videos that kind of just get to the point and have actionable items. Do you think that that's gonna hurt us by not having a total, like, because some people say, well, you should have 3 hours total total minutes of video. Do you think that matters?
I would say it absolutely does matter. It's sort of a balance, because if you look at your course landing page, it says what's inside. It says lifetime access to 16 lectures.
And that's
usually if your course has lots of students or has 3 hours of video, it'll say and 3+ hours of high quality video and things like that. And so since that list is short, that's absolutely affecting your conversion rate. But on the other side of things, you also don't, especially for this topic, you don't want to ramble on. You don't want to be super boring. So there's kind of a balance. I would say, I always tell people a good rule of thumb is to try and have about 2 hours of video content. And you can also mix it up, right? Like most of your course, little 3 to 5 minute chunks, which are quite quick and quite to the point. But you can also have a section where you have 2 quite longer videos that are structured differently, that might be screencasts, to sort of just teach some different ideas in a different particular way, and it also sort of brings that up. And also, like you mentioned, I'm not sure which course you're looking at of mine. Which is it?
The Hustle one.
Okay, yeah. So if you notice in that course, that was screencasted, and there's the lectures that are the video. There's quizzes. I think I have some handouts in there, and at the end I provide lectures, which are the presentation slides themselves. So that's actually, if you're doing a screencast, I always recommend to my clients, upload the video, then upload the lecture slides themselves as a separate lecture, just sort of in a bonus section, because that actually effectively doubles the length of your course from the number of lecture standpoint.
So so for the number of lectures, but not the actual time of video, because the slides wouldn't be a video.
Correct.
Okay, I like that. And actually, I'm thinking for ours, one thing that we might do is I'll leave the main body of it, these short videos, and then maybe at the very end, as like a bonus, we'll have like a longer video, and that way we can bump up those minutes, but without, and you know, but that way it'll actually come after they've completed the course, and that way, you know, it's kind of a almost extra credit homework.
Yeah, here's what I would do if I were you. Just given this topic, I would coach somebody for an hour or do some kind of very specific case study, like analyze Bill Clinton's small talk abilities or something through a video, and have that be, you know, like part 1, part 2, part 3, have that be about an hour long, be really in-depth, really practical application, and that'll give that to you. And it's also sort of a different format than what I think the majority of your content is.
I like it. Great advice. All right, so kind of moving on, how I know that you also promote with coupon marketing. I'm taking a look at your packages right now. So if you guys want to look at this, it's onlinecourseauthority.com, and then if you click pricing, I see that one of your promotion packages, you do coupon marketing and affiliate outreach. How does that work?
So there's actually a long list of it's you know, it's a step-by-step process, X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3, and so. It also depends on the timeline. So again, you want to start out with a free promotion. So I distribute free coupon codes in a very particular way for your course to get a huge spike in your student population really, really quickly, which again has all those positive effects. It also gives you those additional students to market to if you make subsequent courses. And from there, I reach out to other instructors who are on the same topic. I also, one thing that I've recently started doing is I have a variety of clients, right? So I reached out to all of them and said, hey, would you be interested in having your course marketed to all of my other clients? All that would take is one promotion to your own clients. So I market all of the courses to all of the courses, and that's been really effective as well. And also, there's actually a really good example of what's happened in the past 24 to 36 hours. There's been a really massive private Udemy promotion from all the best-selling courses. So it's been coordinated sort of privately, not through Udemy at all, but we did that same type of thing. We combined all of our courses, had this huge list, all discount codes, they're all $10 each, and we promote them to all of our courses, right? And it's actually reaching over, I think it was 400,000 students when you add up all of the students in all of the courses. And actually through that, I was able, for 2 of my clients, just in the past 24 to 36 hours, one of them's made $1,000, another one's made about $500, I believe, and my own courses have made $1,200 plus. And that's, again, like literally just one very simple promotion. And so we're always trying different things like that. But it's kind of hard to concretely say how that'll end up happening because it's, you know, it's always changing. Things like that aren't running every single week. So it's just basically getting it as far and wide as possible through as many channels as you can, and something will stick eventually.
Okay, that makes sense. So while kind of on the fly thinking about what we're doing, I think what we're going to do is we're going to keep the course paid for everyone, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it away for free to everyone listening to Travel Like a Boss, and that'll, you know, that'll first let the listeners take a look at the course themselves and get in, but also it'll bump up the user rankings, I guess, but without the people who actually would, you know, normally find it and want to pay for it, they could still pay for it if they want. Do you think that would be a good idea?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anybody who has an existing audience, I always tell them first thing, promote it free to your own audience because people follow you, they like what you're putting out because they're listening to this and they're on your blog. So I'm sure they would love to have a fuller, longer course about what you put out, and they would really appreciate that. Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a link on the show notes of this episode. It's episode 48. And when you guys click it, the requirements I'm going to have from you guys, or I'm going to ask you guys nicely, I guess, is if you do click it, please sign up for it because then that increases the conversion rate, and it's free anyway, so you might as well sign up for it. And then if you like it, and you actually kind of go through, if you kind of go through at least half the course, please do leave a review because I think the more 5-star reviews we have, the better it's going to be. So that's going to be my gift to you guys. Thank you guys very much. All right. So aside from that, so let's say, fast forward 2 weeks. Now we have a couple hundred students or maybe even 1,000 students from listening from this episode signs up. We have more reviews. We have more students. What would be next?
So have you gone through and theoretically optimized your course for conversion, for the image, the title, everything, ranking? Have you done all that in this hypothetical?
Yep. So we would have the a new a new photo for the thumbnail, and we'll have some bullet points, both texting formatting and personal example. So, yep.
Yeah, so the next step again, so you've got the free students and you want to start giving away discounted codes for the course. Because again, most courses do not sell for their full price. You might get some selling at $67, but it sounds like you probably had none. They've all been coupon codes. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say. Well, yeah, I think almost 100% of them have been some kind of coupon code.
Yeah, and exactly my experience. I have like 4,000 students or something. I think there might have been one or two of those entire population of students who actually paid the full price. So keep that in mind. You probably want to adjust the price slightly. Start distributing those coupon codes through a variety of sources. And actually, another strategy you can try is to temporarily reduce the price. Say, make it $15. Put it in your course copy that it's a temporary special, which will the typical price is $99 or whatever. It's currently $15, and this price will go back to the regular price on September 15th, and do those kinds of promotions. Yeah, I mean, there's like a million different ways you can do it. It's basically just getting it out there, having that contrast of value of like, this is a very valuable course, you're getting a discount on it, and just getting it out there as much as possible. Actually, one thing I want to bring up, which I forgot to mention, you want to try to get coupon codes ranking for the title of your course. So once you've optimized your course, your ranking, you're happy with what your course title is, at that point, you want to start submitting coupon codes that are paid, like they're not free student coupon codes, for the title of your course, so that when anybody searches, they find your course, they're like, hey, this is cool. Then they Google it and they try and look for a coupon code. You make it really easy for them to do that, because a large percentage of Udemy students, they know there's always discounts codes out there, and so they put in 2 minutes of searching for it. And sometimes if they can't find it, they won't buy your course. But if you make it really easy for them, so say it's a $100 course, you have a coupon code out there that's ranking for your course title for $20, then it makes it really easy for people to sign up and get access to that code.
Okay, that's awesome. The other thing that we were working on the side is creating a blog with some kind of free info on it. Do you think that's a good use of time or a waste of time?
Total waste of time. Unless it's something you want to build up for other reasons, I would not work on building an audience specifically for Udemy. I actually, if anything, do it the opposite direction. Build up a Udemy course to launch something external that you want to launch. And a lot of courses do that, actually. They have a free course. And actually free courses can rack up tons and tons of people. Like some of them have like 30,000 students. And from there, you can say, if you like this course, come to my external blog or whatever and opt in and all that stuff. But I wouldn't waste time building up that audience externally and then trying to bring them to Udemy, just because the conversion rate is going to be low. It's going to be very expensive in terms of time and resources. And you've already got an audience, so just use your own audience that you've got. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're a little bit lucky that we have an audience to kind of kickstart things, and even getting all those reviews. I mean, it was still relative. Like the 17 reviews, I see there's a lot of courses that have, let's say, 2,000 students and they only have 17 reviews. So big thank you to all of our friends and our family for actually taking the time to do the course and leave the review. We really appreciate that. And for everyone listening that's going to sign up for this course for free as well, please do take that time to leave a review, because that helps more than anything.
Absolutely. And actually, to just give other people an idea, I started my courses and I think it was a 700-person email list, and I think I got 3 sales from that. So basically, the point of that is you don't have to have an audience. It really helps in terms of getting those reviews, because I think you have more reviews than I do, but you only have 54 students. And the reason for that is those people really know who you are. They really like what you do. You've already built a relationship with them. So it helps with that, but you actually don't have to have an audience to start a Udemy course and be really, really successful with it. So that's important to keep in mind as well.
Oh, that makes sense. Actually, while we're on that, do you have a coupon code for your course that you want to give away? Or maybe you can make one, just like T-Lab?
Sure, yeah. I'll make one right after this call.
Okay, cool. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just link that in the show notes, and that way you can have access to the course, and you can give them a nice discount on your course if they want to take yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to do that.
Okay. Yeah, very cool. So I'm getting excited about this. And
glad to.
Yeah, and really happy to hop on with you on this, because it's one of those things where I really do feel like, I mean, what really made me excited about it was when we first started getting organic students, or I guess real customers that signed up, paid for the course that we don't know at all, and they left positive reviews. They left 4 and 5 star reviews. I was really excited, thinking, wow, I mean, I knew that the content was good, but it's completely different, having a friend or a relative tell you the content's good versus someone who found the course, actually paid for it, and they said, hey, thanks so much. I'm a street photographer and I'm very shy to approach people to take photos of them, which is why I took your course, and it's helped a lot. But I've got a lot of tips out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Those moments are fantastic when you get that through reviews, through messages, etc. And the best part is it's like organic, right? Like it sort of happens of its own accord. It's not something you've instigated. And so you wake up, you get that message, and it makes your whole day. Yeah,
definitely. And so the other kind of reasons why we picked this topic is I never really talk about it much, but I really do feel like my networking ability, I don't even think of it as that. Just kind of, I'm a pretty social guy, and the rest of this as well. I mean, girl, and we just naturally like to talk to people, and we meet tons of people all the time. And I really feel like the people that we've met, kind of just doing, having small talk, whether we are at a coffee shop or at a co-working space, because a lot of people think that if you go to a co-working space, magically you're going to network, you're going to meet tons of entrepreneurs, and your life's going to suddenly get better. But the truth is, at most co-working spaces, people are working. So unless you go out of your way to introduce yourself to someone, ask them if they want to have lunch, or ask them what they do, it's still not going. Even though you're in that environment, you're still not going to naturally just meet people. And the fact that I've met, I'm very easily go out and reach out and meet people. I think that's really helped me in my business, my career, and for learning. I mean, I never would have met you if I didn't have the balls just to reach out to you and say, hey, what's up?
Absolutely, that's true. And you better be careful. You're really selling me on this course right now. Take exactly what you're saying and write that in the copy. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I like it. And so what do you think about us creating multiple courses kind of around the same topic? Or
yeah,
I mean,
it's a great idea. You'd want to position them. I mean, you don't want like small part 2.
Medium
want to
talk.
Exactly.
Big talk.
So you'd want to have each kind of have its own valuable outcome, which is explicitly stated, which is different for each course. But they can be all on the same general topics. Like there's, some people do social media for different platforms. Some people do confidence in different situations. It's basically just different applications, and make sure each, they can overlap, but they have unique content in each. And I think that's a great idea.
I like that a lot. Very cool. So before we kind of wrap up, is there any other last minute tips or?
Go to onlinecourseauthority.com.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think this is actually really cool, especially if you guys don't have a big audience already. I would say if you're comfortable, reaching out to your own, friends and family to get them to leave reviews, and you're great at marketing already, you could definitely try to do it on your own. But even someone like me I have a big audience, and I have I have a lot of experience in this space. I still only made $75 a month so far from the course. So I really do think that what you have to offer is great. It's your packages aren't even that expensive. It's a couple $100 starting, and I think that someone who wants to be serious about making money from Udemy, I would definitely sign up for something like this. So I'll make sure I have a link to Online Course Authority. And I just wanted to let everyone know, I mean, I want to do a big thank you for everyone who's bought the book. I just released it a few days ago. Life Changes Quick. And it's exactly the same, where if it wasn't for you guys sharing it with your friends and leaving reviews on Amazon, it never would have taken off as it did. And it's insane waking up every morning and seeing how many new reviews that we have every day. And, a lot of kind of cool people. I'm going to have someone on the show in the upcoming weeks that is actually a pretty big name, that he was kind of one of my idols. And he read the book, and he emailed me saying, hey, I really like the story. So for those who haven't read it yet, if you go to lifechangesquick.com, you can buy the book. It's only $7.99, so it's not an expensive book at all. But it's really, it kind of just tells a story about how I started my online journey. I mean, because a year ago, I would say maybe 14 months ago now, but a year ago when I started writing the book, I just got online. I didn't have the podcast. I didn't even have the blog. Well, I had the blog at like a free blog spot. And it was kind of just a personal blog for my friends and family. And I was making about $200 a month online. And now with my dropshipping store and now all these other cool things, you know, I'm basically making more than I ever have in the US with a full-time salary. And I got in shape, and I got a great girlfriend now, and I really have the perfect situation where a lot of people think, you know, I kind of just got lucky, but what it was is I decided, hey, I want to get in shape, I want to make a full-time living online, and I'm not going to date until I did. And when I kind of got those two things in order, you know, the most amazing girl came into my life, and now we are sitting across from each other working on, you know, this Udemy course together, and it's exciting. I mean, I really think that, you know, this life, you know, being able to travel, being able to live abroad and work on your own projects and be your own boss is possible. So I want everyone to read that book. And
I bet she has a huge smile on her face based on what you just said about her as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll send you a copy of this after this, Grant, so you can take a look as well.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I read your other book. I'm looking forward to checking this one out as well.
Okay, very cool. So guys, thank you so much for listening. Check out episode 48 on the Travel Like a Boss podcast in the show notes. Check out Grant at onlinecourseauthority.com, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Travel Like a Boss podcast. If you want to hear more, including the bonus How to Choose the Perfect Niche episode, join our mailing list at travellikeabosspodcast.com. See you next week, and remember, if you want to travel like a boss, you need to be your own boss. So start your online business today and start living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of.